Hi Reddit, I never thought I'd be posting here, but I'm at a crossroads and could really use some outside perspective. This is going to be long, but I want to give the full picture. I, 32M, grew up in a household where favoritism wasn't just subtle, it was the air we breathed. My younger brother, Evan, 28M, was always the golden child. My parents doted on him while I was the one who was always old enough to handle it, more responsible, or simply less needy. At least, that's what they told themselves. In childhood, it started small. Evan got the bigger slice of cake, the new bike, the latest video games. I got hand-me-downs or was told to be grateful for what you have. I remember one Christmas when I asked for a set of art supplies. Evan got a PlayStation and I got a sweater that was 2 sizes too big. My parents laughed and said I'd grow into it. In high school, things got worse as we got older. When I was 15, my parents made me give up my bedroom so Evan could have his own space to focus on school. I spent the next year sleeping on the living room couch, trying to study while Evan blasted music in his new room. If I complained, I was told I was selfish for not supporting my brother. Evan was never disciplined for anything. Once, he crashed my bike into a neighbor's car and blamed me. My parents made me apologize and pay for the damages with my allowance. When I tried to defend myself, my dad snapped, "Stop making trouble for your brother." When it came time for college, my parents told me flat out they couldn't help me financially. I worked 2 part-time jobs, took out loans, and sometimes skipped meals. There were weeks I lived off peanut butter sandwiches and whatever I could get from the campus food pantry. Meanwhile, Evan's tuition was paid in full. He got a brand new car for his 18th birthday and never had to work a day during college. My parents even paid his rent and sent him spending money. I'll never forget the time I called home, sick with the flu and barely able to get out of bed. I asked my mom if she could help me out, maybe send some groceries. She told me, "You're an adult now, you need to learn to take care of yourself." A month later, Evan got a cold, and my parents drove 3 hours to bring him homemade soup and stock his fridge. The final straw came after I graduated. I'd landed a decent job and was trying to get on my feet, but my parents started pressuring me to help out with Evan's expenses. He'd racked up credit card debt and lost his job, and they wanted me to cover his bills just until he gets back on his feet. When I refused, they called me ungrateful and accused me of turning my back on family. We had a huge blowout fight. My dad told me, "Family is about sacrifice. Evan needs you." I replied, "Where was that sacrifice when I needed help?" That was the last real conversation I had with them. I moved to another city, changed my number, and focused on building my own life. Fast forward a decade, I worked my way up in my field, bought a house, and finally felt financially secure. I have a partner who's supportive and friends who feel more like family than my own blood. A few weeks ago, I attended a conference for work. A distant cousin saw me there dressed well, speaking on a panel, clearly doing well. I guess word got back to my parents because suddenly I started getting calls and messages from numbers I didn't recognize. Then, last week, Evan showed up at my office. He waited in the lobby for over an hour, then ambushed me as I was leaving for lunch. He looked rough, disheveled, desperate. He started off with small talk but quickly got to the point. He'd lost his job again, was months behind on rent, and our parents were struggling with medical bills. He said, "You're doing so well, can't you just help us out? It's what family does." I told him I couldn't help, and that I was sorry for what he was going through, but I had to look after myself. He got angry, accused me of being selfish, and stormed out. That night, my parents left me a voicemail saying I was dead to them for abandoning my family. I'll be honest, I feel a mix of anger, guilt, and relief. I worked hard for everything I have. I went hungry, I lived on couches, I fought for every opportunity. Meanwhile, my brother and parents never once offered me a hand. Now that I'm finally okay, they expect me to swoop in and fix everything. Part of me feels like I'm being cruel, but another part of me wonders why I should risk my own stability for people who never cared about mine. So, Reddit, am I the asshole for refusing to help my family after a lifetime of being the scapegoat while my brother was the golden child? Or am I finally justified in putting myself first? Edit, I'm not rich, just stable. I worked hard for every cent, and I'm not willing to jeopardize that for people who never showed me the same care. Thanks for reading.